Welcome to Nole Edge, the official podcast of the College of Arts and Sciences at Florida State University. I'm your host, Amy Walden, the Assistant Director for Visual and Social Media with the College of Arts and Sciences, and we're currently recording in GEOSET Studios in Dirac Science Library. And today we're giving you an overview of exactly what GEOSET is and how it all came to be. So today I'm joined by Kyle Wilson, who leads the GEOSET initiative here at Florida State University Libraries. Kyle, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
So first things first, GEOSET is an acronym for Global Educational Outreach for Science and Engineering and Technology. So Kyle, before we dive into the history of GEOSET, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how long you've been with Florida State?
Of course. First thing, I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it. So you'll have to forgive me if I stumble a little bit. I've been at Florida State about, close to a year now. But I like to say I'm a bit of a Florida State lifer. I'm on my second degree here, my second or third job here. My mom went here. So in a lot of ways, it's pretty much been coming home.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So let's get into GEOSET. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is and when it was founded?
Yeah. So I'll start from when it was founded and kind of move to present day a little bit because it's changed and evolved over time. Mm-hmm. It was founded in 2006 by Sir Harold Croteau, Dr. Colin Byfleet, and Dr. Steve Aqua. The studio here that we're sitting in right now was actually created in 2014. So today, over the many years, we've done different things, but today we essentially help faculty, staff, graduate students, undergraduate students to a certain extent with media projects, creative media problems, ways they can really improve their scientific communication. Excellent.
So you mentioned Nobel laureate Sir Harold Croteau was a key player in making GEOSET a reality. Some additional background on Sir Croteau: he joined the Florida State University faculty in 2004 after having spent a large part of his career at University of Sussex in England. And by the time he joined the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at the College of Arts and Sciences, he had already won the 1996 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the discovery of the carbon-60 Buckminster-fullerene molecule. When Croteau passed away in 2016, he certainly left behind a legacy here at FSU. Many students and professors are familiar with the Croteau Auditorium in the Chemical Sciences Laboratory building on campus, which was dedicated in his honor in October of 2019. And of course, GEOSET, which continues to be such a wonderful resource on campus and continues the mission that Sir Harold Croteau had in mind. So Kyle, can you talk about what the original goal of GEOSET was and why it was important to Croteau?
Oh, of course. And I'll always say Sir Harold Croteau is a lot better about talking about this than I am. So you can view recorded lectures by him about GEOSET, about his concept of the GUU wiki world. So, but I will try to summarize a Nobel laureate very briefly. Sir Harold Croteau was really passionate about scientific communication and improving that. And when he came to Florida State, a large goal of his, and the reason why he did come to Florida State is they were willing to support this, was to essentially develop a new system for scientific education through video online, which was in part due to the concept he called the GUU wiki world, which was Google, YouTube, and Wikipedia. So it's always important to remember this is like very early 2000. YouTube was founded in 2005. This place was founded in 2006. Wow. He saw that essentially it was going to revolutionize education, right?
Wow.
So he said, let's make a space where researchers can come together for a relatively low cost and very easily record a lecture, post it in a central location, and share it with the world. So obviously he was right in the way that it did revolutionize education.
Yeah, I would say so.
YouTube went from like, a few thousand videos to a few million. Mm-hmm. So after he created this space, it slowly evolved and moved onward to kind of have a broader scope than just recording lectures and really kind of encapsulate improving scientific communications at Florida State and across the globe in really whatever way is possible, whether that's podcasting, whether that's a lecture series, whether it's a website, anything really.
Yeah, it sounds like he was definitely ahead of his time when envisioning all of that. Another important person in the GEOSET story is Mark Riley, the Dean of the Graduate School here at Florida State. And we recently caught up with Mark Riley to talk about his role in GEOSET's founding.
GEOSET was the brainchild of Sir Harry Croteau, knighted by the Queen of England, Nobel laureate, very dear, close friend of mine, one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. And when he got his Nobel Prize, he wanted to put resources into publicizing science. He created a website in the UK called Vega, which everybody should go and check that out. But when he came here, he wanted to do something a little bit different, and he realized the power of video and modern communications, and he set up a video studio in the Dirac Library to record our brilliant students, so they had the opportunity to tell the world about their amazing research that they were doing to further humanity, move us forward as a species and as a planet. And the GEOSET studios were set up, and he set about recording students and faculty so that their stories could get out there into the world and encourage others to change the world. I was the chair of the physics department at that time, and Harry and I had become friends, and he was explaining the GEOSET concept and where he wanted it to go, and he asked for my help to recruit students to talk in front of the camera and talk about their research endeavors. And so I set about doing that, and it was just amazing because every time we'd meet, we'd trade numbers about how many of our students, my students in physics and his students in chemistry. This is the whole department, not just, particular students who were working with us. And he was so upset because for the longest time, there were more physics graduate students who had recorded videos than chemistry. So we had a sort of fun rivalry about it. Everything with Harry was fun. He's just amazing human being. He really was.
So Kyle, now that we know how GEOSET was started, what kinds of services does GEOSET offer on campus?
So I know it's going to be a cliche, but it's more a question of what services we don't offer. We're essentially here to improve scientific communication in any way we know how. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, that's going to be centered on the studio here in Dirac Science Library, generally media services, video, audio production. The main thing is that it's really easy for anybody, faculty, staff, students, to essentially contact me, contact GEOSET on our website. We'll do a consultation and we'll kind of devise and figure out the best way we can help you, whether that's audio mixing, whether that's filming on location, whether that's producing a podcast, something like that. Really anything that we are capable of doing, we're more than willing to do.
A podcast, you don't say. Can you tell us about some of the kinds of projects over the years that you've helped bring to life?
Oh, well, there's a ton in the GEOSET backlog. Yeah. So, and I've only been here so long, and it's a big archive to go through. So we have a lot of awesome lectures from Lawton professors, very important professors that at really pivotal points in their careers, which is really great. We've also been able to produce videos for a lot of graduate students that have gone on to very successful careers, in large part due to their videos at GEOSET. And then today and more recently, we've produced other podcasts. We do live streaming events. We do video lecture series, short lecture series. And really, we kind of do whatever we can get our hands on.
That's fabulous. What are people most surprised to learn about GEOSET, would you say?
That Bill Nye the Science Guy opened the studio.
I love it.
That's definitely probably one that you can go look the article up on FSU News. But I would say in all seriousness, people are generally surprised that we're open because the COVID-19 pandemic really did kind of make us shift things around and go entirely remote. It's hard to film in a studio when everyone's remote. Mm-hmm. So I think people are surprised and happy to learn that like GEOSET is back, the studio is open, and we have an expanded and new team.
That's excellent. Now, what has been your favorite thing about being part of GEOSET?
Oh, That one's easy. So my favorite part about being a GEOSET is the team I get to work with, whether that's Dean Eschmeyer and the FSU Libraries team, whether that's Dean Mark Riley in Grad World and Graduate School, whether that's my colleagues in England that are still part of the GEOSET family, whether that's Dr. Steve Aqua at UMass Amherst. Everyone still continues Sir Harry Croto's vision for GEOSET and really improving communications and science.
That's great to hear. So what does the future hold for GEOSET? Any exciting projects coming up that you can share with us?
I can share one, and it is actually unexclusive. This will be,
great.
I have not told anyone outside of the FSU libraries. We're pleased to announce that we're going to open a secondary recording space in Dirac Science Library.
That's excellent.
It's going to be focused. The number one thing is you can book it like any other library space. So it's going to have tons of professional level audio and video recording tools in there. So you can go in there, do something quick, short, or do a very elaborate project. The main thing is it's self-serve. So essentially you just book it, use it, and anyone can use it. So
I love it. The exclusive info on this podcast. So if students or faculty members are interested in booking time to use the services at GEOSET, how do they get started and what does that process look like exactly?
The process is pretty straightforward. So first step, go to geoset.fsu.edu. If you go there, you can contact me by submitting a project request form. My email is also on there, but I suggest the project request form. Once you do that, we'll reach out to you, set up a consultation. Consultations generally last 15, 30 minutes, get a rough idea what your project is and how we can help. And then from there, we schedule out and figure out how we can help you out.
Sounds simple enough. Now, we end the podcast with our bowl of mystery questions. So Kyle, please draw a question and read it.
Okay. Where were you when you found out you were hired or got into FSU? Well, hearkening back to my first response there, I have a lot of answers to that.
Yeah, because you've been a student and an employee.
Yes. So I'll say when I don't know. Maybe all of the answers are a little bit lame. I was just at my old job in my office when I found out I got hired at FSU. I will say I went and took a long lunch break to celebrate.
Oh, that's great. So Kyle, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure learning all about GEOSET and how it began. And if you'd like to learn more about GEOSET, you can visit them online at geoset.fsu.edu. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Nole Edge.